Hey guys, welcome to the video. So let's talk about modern day web marketing. I've been doing this since the early 2000s, web marketing. Actually, way before that, since 1994 when I got my first website up. But back in the early 90s, web marketing was just a total disaster. Web marketing became a thing when Google came around in early 2000s. I think it could be 2001, 2, I forget exactly. But when Google came out, and their search engine algorithm, their search engine started to actually pull up reasonable or accurate results, then the whole search engine marketing, web marketing game became something. Before that, back in the 90s and before Google, when you would do searches on search engines, you search for anything and you would get pornography. You search for bananas, you get pornography. You search for dog training tips, you would get pornography. It was just crazy. So because of Google, the web became searchable and the web started to clean itself up because people wanted to be found by the search engine, so they started optimizing their sites accordingly. Now, over the years, things have shifted. At one point, there was something called search engine marketing where you would go in there, fix the code, make the site more search engine friendly so that the search engines could read the pages properly, etc., etc. This has become greatly diminished, if not at all important these days, simply because the search engines are very sophisticated nowadays. And what I mean by search engines are sophisticated, I mean that they're able to go into websites, crawl through them, and read exactly what the website is about. There's all kinds of different things that it looks at. But in the old days, the search engines would look at the links coming into sites and the content within the site. Now it's a lot about social media presence. Your social media presence has a huge component in terms of how search engines will rank your website. That all said and done, for many, many types of websites, search engine results, organic search engine results, as where people find you on Google. There's Bing, I suppose, or Yahoo, but everybody just pretty much uses Google. I think that organic search engine results are becoming less and less and less and less important, and I'll explain why in this video. I decided to put this subject, before I go on, I decided to put this subject in this business channel as opposed to my code channel because this has much more to do with web marketing, promotion, getting your business known, whether you're becoming a freelance web developer or whether you start a restaurant, a coffee shop, what have you. A SaaS service for some niche B2C or B2B type of business. Before I go on, B2C is business to client, meaning your business provides a product or a service that end users, retail users will use. And B2B is a business to business type of business where your business provides services and products to other businesses. So Studio Web, my learning platform, does both. So I offer subscriptions to Studio Web, or you can purchase courses and training through Studio Web if you're an individual. But I also provide Studio Web, the platform, to code training camps, to schools and institutions, and to businesses as well. So it's both B2B and B2C business. Anyway, I'm just mentioning that just in case you don't know what B2B and B2C is. Now you do. So the point of this video is to say that many a times these days when you go to Google, just go to Google and do a search for a particular subject. I don't know what it could be. It could be great restaurants in whatever town you happen to be in, or plumber in this town, etc., etc. What you're going to find, and it's not with all searches, but with a lot of searches, I was doing some checking on this, that the organic results, meaning you put all kinds of work to building up your site, filling your site with great content, great information, and so that the search engines say, hey, this is a great site, we should show these results on our search engine, basically Google. And then you find, you get a top ranking in Google, and guess what happens though? You go to Google, the search engine result pages, and you find that, yeah, you may be the top organic result, but on top of your your little result in the search engine, you have 3 or 4 ads. So you have 3 or 4 ads at the top, then you have your result, and then you might have a map, a Google map, big block here. Then you might have a block of text to explain certain subjects. And then at the bottom, you have another 3 or 4 ads. And the way the ads are displayed now in Google, it's not so obvious that what's an ad and what is a search engine result based on organic search engine result, based on Google crawling your website, say, hey, it's a good website, let's throw them into the search result. At the end of the day, Google is now making it harder and harder to recognize the difference between a paid ad versus a natural search engine result. And that's by design. They'll have a little text that says ad beside the ad, but in the old days, they used to have a box around the ads. So you have a box of ads here, and then you had search engine results and a box of ads there, but they've taken that box away. So it all kind of flows, so it's all about the same thing. And also in the old days, they used to have search engine results, organic here, and on the side, ads. But from what I've seen, they removed that and they just put the ads right here. That's by design. And it's not for every search engine term, but for many out there, especially monetizable ones, meaning where there's a monetary return on it. Let's say you provide legal services. You're a paralegal, or you're a bookkeeper, or you're a lawyer, and you create a website, and you provide incorporation services. You incorporate companies for people. You try to get those search engine results, and I bet you that you're going to have ads that are going to be on the top of the page. Even if you're number 1 ranked organic results, you have the best site in your city for legal advice, you're still going to be below the ads at the top of the page. And just in case you don't know, they've done the studies, the first 4 listings at the top of the page in any search engine result, that's where 90%, give or take, could be 95, could be 90, I haven't looked at the data in a while, but it's at least 90% of people to just click on one of those first few results. So if you're in the middle of a page, how much action you're going to get is going to drop like by 90%. Forget about page 2. Everything's on the first page. The bottom of the page, it has some importance, but not very important. It depending on the search result, depending on other results on the page. Generally speaking, as a general rule, you want to appear in the top 3 or 4 listings. It could be ads, it could be organic results. Now, sometimes organic, natural search engine results, unpaid results, will appear on the entire page because nobody's buying ads for that particular term that you're appearing top of the page. But typically, if you have a search result page with no ads, typically that search term that resulted in that Google search result page is probably not monetizable. So if you have I don't know, a page where you're talking about kittens and you have crazy kitten stories, kittens as little cats, crazy kitten stories, and you might appear, number 1 on crazy kitten stories, but I'm not sure if you're going to make much money with your crazy kitten stories. Maybe you can, I don't know. But I'm just giving you some silly example to try to make my point. But on the other hand, as with my previous example, if you're a paralegal, a legal, and you say, quick incorporation of your new business, trust me, there's going to be ads you're going to compete against. So all this said and done, I question the value of web marketing in the traditional way. In the old days, and this is the big point, here's the big point. If you've been waiting for the big point, this is it. In the old days, and I'm going back to the 90s, the way to establish yourself on the web was to create a .com or a .org or .net, whatever, it could be whatever you want, and a website essentially. The old days, you would create a website, and then you would build that website up with amazing content. The search engines would go, hey, this is great, and then people will go to your site, and you build up your site, and then you sell from there. So the idea was to build the site, and they will come. I think the game has changed because of the way search engines are acting these days and because of social media. Social media like Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, whatever, TikTok or TikTok or whatever it is. I think it's TikTok. Everybody's got their social media. Some people like to hang out on Instagram. Some people hang out on Twitter. Some people hang out on Facebook. Some people hang out on YouTube, depending on what they want to do. And some people jump around a little bit. Everybody's got their favorite, right? It's like everybody's got their favorite club they like to go to. If you're your teens, your 20s, your favorite nightclub. Everybody's got their favorite gym that they go to, et cetera, et cetera. So people got their areas they like to congregate. And to get them to come to your site, it's got to be really, really compelling. So the game is not build the site and then draw everybody to your site so they come visit your site for the information. It's not so much that. It's much more about creating your brand. You have to have a great site, no question, because you need a place to showcase your wares or your services, your products, and you can do the transactions and so forth. You have to have a good-looking site for sure, but the key is build a site that closes the deal, closes the sale, and then you use social media for your organic outreach, and you can pay as well. Pay to get on Instagram ads, pay to Facebook ads. And then you also use Google. It's probably Google, maybe Bing. I don't know about Bing, but Google, paid ads on Google targeting the clients you want to get. And that is probably the best way to do it these days. So these days it's about not create the site to draw the traffic, to draw awareness to yourself. No, the site is the final point in them engaging with you, them being your potential clients. The site is the final point, but really you go out there and you get your organic content-based traffic on the social media platforms for the most part, and you use paid ads to get the paid traffic, whether it be through Google search or through social media paid ads. Where should you advertise? Should you advertise on Facebook, Google, Instagram, YouTube? That largely depends on the type of product or service that you're selling, depends on the demographic that you're going after, depends on the type of campaign that you're running. Are you running a campaign to build awareness? Are you running a campaign to get a client that you could sell and convert? We'll have to leave that to another video. But again, to conclude, I think the days, okay, before I make my final statement, this is general statement. There's always exceptions depending on this particular niche you happen to be in. But the old ways of thinking about web marketing, where you build up a beautiful site with great content and then you get search engine results, I think it's much more about building your brand across the social media spectrum, and then using paid ads on search, paid ads on social media, and a little bit organic as well for search, organic results for search, to bring people to your product or service or you, and then you build up from there. Because some of you may be going, and I used to think that way too, why pay for ads? Why don't you just do organic? Well, let me just say this. If you're investing hundreds and hundreds of hours building up the content on your site to get organic results, and you go to the search page results, and you spend hundreds of hours to get your 2 little results on the page after the 4 ads that your competitors have put, right? You got to ask yourself, how much did those hundreds of hours, how much did that cost you versus paying for ads at the top? You may find that it's actually more economical to have just invested in those ads rather than paying to build up content that gets you much less traffic than the cost of getting those ads. I hope that makes sense in terms of the math behind this. There's a cost to doing business. There's a cost to getting people's attention, et cetera, et cetera. Well, for example, these YouTube channels. I did this. I started my first channel, which has 150,000 subs or more, partly as a project just to learn how to speak in front of the camera, as I mentioned before. And it's a hobby. I really enjoy it. But it's turned out to be a pretty good marketing vehicle. But the amount of time and effort I have put into recording these videos, editing these videos. This camera cost me $10,000 as an example, the camera and the lens, the mic, etc. That's a cost, right? Now, I don't mind that. I haven't done the math. Maybe if I would have put $10,000 into ads, perhaps that would have generated more revenue than with these all this video work I've done. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. That being said, I don't regret doing the YouTube and the Instagram because it's a hobby for me as much as anything else. And I enjoy engaging with everybody, by the way. So I do this for many reasons. But you got to look at that. In your situation, when you're looking at your business, you may want to consider these different avenues and these different venues. And when you are going out there doing your marketing campaign, it's not a one-size-fits-all situation, meaning what will work for your business may not be suitable for another type of business depending on the type of product that they're selling. You may need to target on TikTok or on Instagram, or somebody else may need to target on YouTube or YouTube video ads, or other people may do better on LinkedIn ads, as an example. Let's say you want to get professionals, right? Maybe you got job training or job resume training services. Probably better on LinkedIn as an example. So this is all part of the game. And it's really interesting for me. I enjoy the marketing end of things. And after a year and a half now of building out the Studio Web platform at Studio Web 5, new SaaS, new software from scratch, new UI, brand new store, new certification system. Now I'm pivoting into the marketing end of things. I'm planning out the marketing strategy, and we're just about to execute on a whole bunch of different things based on my initial analysis. So the reason I'm doing this video is because I was looking at search engine results, because I got some sites. I got killersites.com and killerphp.com and howtobuildwebsites.com, and I got css-tutorial.net. If you look at Killer Sites, my first site, major site, that site was registered in 1996. That wasn't my first site, but that site it's my oldest site that I own. They still get a lot of traffic, these sites. Collectively, 500,000 page views a month, something like that. So I was looking at the strategy going forward with I was talking with my marketing assistant about how we're going to leverage those websites. We call them web properties, and to use them to get the word out about all the new products and services that we're releasing now. Anyway, so I was just looking at all these different things, and then I went to search engine pages, and I was like, I hadn't looked at this in a long time because I've been busy with development and business development, and I was looking at, wow, look at the search engines. It's all ads. It's ads and ads. And like, I was doing a bunch of search tests, and I would say, it's hard to say exactly, but my anecdotal tests, 80-90% of the time, the top spots were always ads. And again, those top 3 or 4 results are so important. If you're down 4 or 5 down, like a huge amount of the eyeball traffic is just greatly diminished. They've done some eye tracking tests. I think his name is Nielsen, the Nielsen Group. And what they do is they bring in a whole bunch of people. They have them stare at computer screens and work on websites and search engines. And what they found, they can track where the eyeballs are looking on the page, and they see where people are clicking. And so those top 3 or 4 ads are so valuable. If you're in the middle of the page with your organic search engine results, and the top 4, they dominate. They'll get the lion's share of the clicks and the interest. So that's where you got to focus. So if in 90% of the search results, or whatever the number happens to be, it's high, those top 3 or 4 positions are held by ads, that's where you got to go. That's where you got to go. Anyway, I hope this is valuable. Part of marketing and getting your name and out there, and just getting people aware of who you are, what you do, whether you're a freelancer or you got a SaaS you want to sell, or any business really. Understanding how to get the exposure out there in a modern way, using all these web technologies and the modern internet in general, This is all part of this business and freelance and entrepreneur channel, career building channel that this is all about. Anyway, let me know in the comments below if you like this. Yeah, let me know. Give me some feedback as I build this channel. I'm also going to put a link down to my newsletter. Join my newsletter. We got exclusive content on there. Don't worry, I don't sell your name anywhere. And I put out newsletters once, twice a week, maybe, depending. You'll see it will vary depending on how busy I am with other things. And there you have it. I hope you found this video interesting. Bye-bye.